So in these quiet and self-reflective times of being in quarantine, I look back onto my life and I think to myself, thank God you've been to prison because you would be going crazy right now. And I would. Quarantine, lockdown, can't go outside, do all these things. That would drive me nuts. Absolutely crazy. Right? But through experiences in my life, I've learned to lock down and quarantine better than the person on life support can. Right? So sometimes I gotta wake up in the morning and say, look, there's nobody outside. The yard's closed. I wonder why that is. Or I notice that there's nobody in the house. Everybody's gone. I'm like the wings locked down. And once I get into that mode or that thought process, I start to handle situations differently. Right? So let me tell you about a couple thought processes, and a rule of thumb for people that are in prison during a situation like this. I was locked up for swine flu and Ebola, right? And generally, the thoughts were that nobody's ever going to get out until this is all over with, or they're going to declare martial law and they'll come in and kill every one of us, because apparently somewhere in martial law it says, in the event martial law is declared, you have to kill all the inmates. I don't know if it's true or not, but rumor has it. So, and then a rule of thumb for most guys in there is don't get flu shots or any vaccinations from medical, because that's where they're going to chip you and dip you and get rid of you and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Don't be the guinea pig. Right? When I was in prison, I was in an open bay dorm. And what an open bay dorm is, it's a large room. And this particular one had 5 cells up one wall. And each cell had four people in it. 6 cells on the other wall. And 8 cells up the middle. So these cells are only separated by a wall 3 foot high. And, I had the very back corner cell. So I had a bird's view eye of everything that was going on. All right. And then one day I realized the guy out front in the first cell, him and the cell, have been coughing a lot. Right. Because you notice this kind of things. You're aware of everything that's going on around you. You notice things when things change in the slightest bit. And then, so you make a note to yourself about it. Don't go by that cell. Dudes are sick. Right? And then like 2 days later, you realize that one cell down and across from him, those dudes are sick too. And the cell across from them. And then you begin to realize that you're being stalked by a virus in the place that you live. Right? It's a hell of a thing to watch. It really is. And it happens. So, the fortunate thing about open bay dorms is a lot of them dudes in there are really, really clean. Right? And in a way, you're almost forced to be. You're held to a standard. Right? Because you're sharing a space with a bunch of other dudes. You don't want bugs. You don't want smells. Right? You definitely don't want illnesses. So people, clean their cells. The floors get swept and mopped several times a day. Walls get wiped down, disinfected. Tables get cleaned off. Bathroom gets cleaned mandatory 4 times a day, and the showers twice a day. And then the phones, generally after every count, they get disinfected and wiped down by a houseman, right? So I take that way of handling things and I apply it to this situation right here. I keep my house clean. Wash my hands regularly. Anyone that comes in the house has to wash their hands. Right? If I go out, I'm aware of the people around me. Who's coughing funny? If that dude over there is coughing, I'm not going in that direction. Right? I'll go out the opposite door and cut back across the parking lot. I don't care. Because I'm trying to look out for me. And when I look out for me, I'm looking out for you. And that's pretty much how everyone should be looking at this. Right? So, when you're out and about, be clean, keep good hygiene, right? Secondly, when you're home by yourself and you start to get stir crazy, you have to do the things that you enjoy. You have to reach out to somebody. I spent a fair amount of time in a cell with one other human being, for extended periods of my life. And there's a lot of downtime, a lot of alone time, a lot of times to drive yourself crazy, So I learned to adapt in those situations by redirecting that type of, shitty energy, So, really, stay clean, keep good hygiene, and enjoy your quarantine. Because there's not many moments in life where you actually have time for yourself. And I'm not even saying you gotta look at yourself or even deal with yourself. But alone time is a good thing. Being alone by yourself is a good thing. It's a good thing to learn. So, I appreciate you guys listening. You guys have a good day. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Where's it at? So I got this old knockoff penitentiary hand sanitizer. Let me tell you, when Bob Barker says the price is right, the price is right. Check it out in the link below. Have fun.